Hello and welcome to another update video about ADA. We want to take a look at the daily chart first. Obviously, there's been a spike below support, but it was not a sustained break. The price has recovered immediately. I don't know how quickly, but it was very, very quickly. So we really only have a wick below support. That's not a sustained break. And the buyers basically stepped in around that 64-cent level. This is obviously too deep for a clear wave 4, for a reliable wave 4. So take it with a grain of salt, right? But to keep the prospects of one more high alive, the price must hold, in my opinion, must hold above the last low. I mean, it's deep for a wave 4. We'll need to see how the structure develops from the low. Essentially, we could even think about labeling it as an AB instead of a 3-4. But as long as the pullback remains corrective, there is still a chance for higher prices. It's a three-wave move down, essentially, and it's back above 64 cents, and it recovered from the low, like, quite profound ways. It's already recovered like 40%. Yeah. So ADA is back in support, in the main support region for a fourth wave, and I would call it a fourth wave as long as the price stays below the overnight low. So this was at 51 cents, okay? Now, we need a bit more structure from the low to really say that it's bottomed, but all I can say at this stage, as long as it's holding above that low, it can keep the prospect of, one more high alive, and this wave count remains valid. Yeah, it's just valid. So why is it valid, even though we broke support? Well, it's not a sustained break below support. It's not ideal, but we had a liquidation event in crypto, obviously. And yeah, I mean, if it continues to sustain below 64 cents, I would explore other options. But it's back above it. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk about that a little bit more on the smaller time frame. Obviously, we talked about bearish alternatives as well, right? So, I mean, typically when one support breaks, the focus shifts to the lower support. And sometimes things happen so quickly in crypto that it's just like happening in real time. So you have to be there, right? But the next support is at around 28.9 cents. That's the lower support area that was already relevant in August. So the scenarios haven't changed. Mainly because of the quick recovery of the ADA chart, right? That would be different had the wave 4 crossed into the wave 1 price region at around 40 cents, but that's not the case. So looking at the short-term chart then, it was a deep pullback, absolutely, more like a crash or liquidation event, but the market again is back in support, in the main support area. And I mean, I've sketched out a 5-wave move up here. I'm not saying this is going to happen. So as I said, take it with a grain of salt because this wave 4 is deeper than ideal. But as long as the market is staying above that last low and holding 55 cents now, we could track this at least, right? It will depend on the structure of the next decline. So if the price pulls back in a corrective fashion and can hold 55 cents, it could be a setup for a third wave rally. Ultimately, what we need to see is a break above the 98-cent level, or 99 actually, and $1.165. You know that level. That was the level that was, that needed to break to the upside in order to suggest that we're on our way to, let's say, 172, 239, or 237, right? This would be the level at around $1.165, but we haven't broken above it, so still sort of not in upside breakout mode. So now we can say with that significant decline, 55 cents is just micro support, which in case we get a pullback, needs to hold to indicate this could be a 1-2 setup. So that's what I'm tracking today. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.